Most leaders believe risk tolerance is a strategic decision. It isn't, at least not entirely. One of the earliest effects of fatigue is not poor outcomes, it's distorted risk pricing. Before performance drops, before results suffer, before anyone raises concern, fatigue quietly changes how leaders feel about risk. And that shift is almost invisible from the inside. At the executive level, fatigue doesn't usually show up as emotional volatility. It shows up as emotional compression. Decision making becomes subtly altered, not erratic. Emotional regulation is one of the first systems compromised under sustained load. Not dramatically, not publicly, but physiologically. And that matters because emotional regulation is the foundation of risk tolerance, timing, judgment under certainty, willingness to hold ambiguity without forcing resolution. When those systems are taxed, leaders still feel rational, they still feel justified, and they still feel decisive. But the range of acceptable options narrows. Under sustained cognitive and physiological load, leaders tend to drift toward one of two patterns. Pattern one, impulsivity. Decisions are made faster. Ambiguity feels intolerable. Action feels safer than waiting. Not reckless, just accelerated. Good enough starts to replace well considered. Pattern two, avoidance. Decisions are delayed. Risk feels heavier. Uncertainty feels threatening rather than strategic. Again, this doesn't feel like fear. It feels like prudence, like discipline, like patience. Both patterns feel reasonable. Both can be defended logically, and both often carry long-term consequences. At senior levels, small emotional shifts compound. A slightly lower tolerance for ambiguity can mean exiting opportunities too early, over-controlling teams, delaying strategic bets, or pushing initiatives forward before conditions are ready. The issue is not intelligence, it's not experience, it's not leadership capability, it's physiology. Fatigue reduces the brain's capacity to regulate emotion before it reduces intelligence. So leaders don't feel impaired, they feel decisive. And that's what makes this risk so underrecognized. Risk tolerance is not purely strategic, it's physiological. Your ability to price risk accurately depends on sleep sufficiency, glycemic stability, stress recovery, and nervous system regulation. When those systems are depleted, risk assessments quietly skew. Not because you're wrong, but because the lens has shifted. High-performing leaders don't fail because they take risks. They fail because they take mispriced risks while believing they are thinking clearly. The most effective leaders don't just manage strategy, they manage the biological systems that support judgment. If this resonates, I invite you to complete a brief executive capacity audit, not as an assessment of performance, but as a snapshot of the physiological factors shaping your decision-making today. No obligation, just clarity. Because when fatigue sets the frame, even good decisions can produce avoidable costs.